Jim Graham and Dave Sadler here for Beyond the Cage, presented by Fight Chicks. And on the line, we have a very special guest joining us. He is the middleweight champion for the Maximum Fighting Championship. He is Smilin' Sam Alvey. And Sam, thanks for coming on Beyond the Cage.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
And the first question I got to ask you right off the bat, Sam, the burning question our fans want to know: are you smiling right now in California at 7 o'clock in the morning?
You know I am, always. I think it's already 70 degrees outside. It's perfect. So, yeah, I'm smiling.
Now, you became the MFC middleweight champion in last October, and I was wondering, how has life changed for you since becoming a champion in that time ago?
Well, it's fun. You know, a few more people recognize me when I go out. Plus, I've got this really cool belt I have sitting on my above my fireplace. So that's all pretty sweet. And it's really just kind of a sense of pride. I've really accomplished something in fighting, which I've put so much time into over the last few years, bunch of years.
Now, with your last fight being in October, have you been itching to get back into the ring?
Yeah, I love fighting. I actually, about a month and a half ago, I took a kickboxing fight. I beat the WCK heavyweight champion in kickboxing. So I've been doing everything I can to keep busy, but I'm really looking forward to getting back into the MMA ring.
Now, we've only been in 2014 for a few months, but how has the new year treated you so far?
It's been a good year so far. We've got our second child coming, which is fantastic. My wife and I are doing great, and my gym, we opened a new location. Team Quest now has just a massive gym, just about a mile away from its old one. So 2014 has been really good.
Now, in your last fight at MFC 38, it went all the way to the fifth round before you were finally able to get that finish and capture the title. And by the time it got to the fifth round, did you expect that you actually were going to finish that fight, Sam?
I'm always trying to finish the fight. It was actually a little bit of an MMA goal of mine to finish a fight in the fifth round. I've now finished fights in every round of the fight, in almost every fashion. So now that I got that out of the way, I'm hoping for just first round knockouts from here on out.
Hey, Sam, in that fight against South, were you more comfortable going into the fifth than you were back at MFC 36?
You know what, I would say it's about the same. I mean, I felt good about the fight. The fifth round back at the first one, my first 5-round fight for the MFC, I felt good there, but I knew it was a round I had to win. This last time I felt I was ahead in the cards. My corners were telling me I was ahead in the cards. But I always want the knockout. I always want the definite win, because you never know what the judges are going to do.
In the last couple fights that we've seen on TV, Sam, we've noticed, and you can correct us if we're wrong, but it seems as though you've only had just one person in your corner, and it's mainly your wife. And we're just kind of wondering, what's that about? If that's actually the case, that's what we're seeing.
Well, my wife is my head corner, and she has been for all of my fights. I'm 21-4 now professionally, and then 6-1 amateur, and then 4-1 in kickboxing, and she's been there for every fight. She runs my corner. So she was the only one in my corner against Elvis. But my last 2 fights up there, I also had a coach of mine, Brian Harper. And actually, my last fight, I had my dad, my firstborn, in my corner as well. 3
Nice.
generations of Alvey in one corner.
That's a lot of smiling.
Oh, it's so much smiling. And I won, too, so I think I might keep doing it.
Does your wife, does she train? Is she in there training with you all the time? Is she just as comparable as, like, you know, Greg Jackson, Mike Winklejohn, and all those guys, or?
She's absolutely as comparable, as good a corner, a better corner than those guys.
Okay.
But she doesn't train with me every day. But her strength really comes from knowing what the other guy is doing. She is a master of she knows how to fight, but she's a master of knowing what the other guy is going to do. I mean, it's uncanny how often she's right. And that's not just when she's in the corner, but if she's watching a UFC on pay-per-view or Bellator or anything. She can predict to the second or what's happening and who's doing what, who's going to do what needs to be done.
That's cool.
She's very good at reading the situation.
Most of our listeners, they know that you were on The Ultimate Fighter. I was wondering, since you were on The Ultimate Fighter, have you watched any of the seasons that have happened since then?
I have not. They had the one season with Ronda Rousey, who I think she's terrible for the sport, had no interest in supporting anything she does. I didn't watch that. There was a season of 185 Fighters, which, I think it was right after mine. I did watch an episode or two of that because everyone was talking about, who's the superstar in that season? That
was Uriah Hall.
Yeah, and so I watched an episode of that to see what everyone was talking about. But I really haven't watched all that much.
Enough of that. Let's move on to MFC 40 a little bit here. We're still a few weeks out. Is your weight doing good, considering we are a few weeks out?
Yeah, I'm perfect. I've got about 15 pounds to go, and that's right where I want to be. At the end of the week, I should be at about 12 pounds to go. So it's been a very good cut. Then my wife and family and team have been very supportive with it, and it should be easy. Well, it's never easy, but it should be not terrible.
With MFC 40, the MFC brought back the Punch the Vote campaign for the fans to vote on the main event, which that night there'll be 3 title fights. Do you think that your fight will get voted into the final spot?
I really hope it does. I've been pushing everyone to vote for me down here. The NFC really does it, and it's a fan-driven organization, and it's just another way the fans get what they want. I always put on a good show, and at the end of the night, that's people want to see fireworks with that last fight. And I've been promising. I promise you 3 little hashtags: hashtag middleweight, hashtag DMFC, and hashtag MFC40 is all you have to tweet. You get that out there, and I will put on the best main event show you've ever seen.
At MFC 40, there's going to be the lightweight fight, the bantamweight fight, and your fight. Can you give us maybe some quick thoughts on the lightweight and the bantamweight title fight, if you know anything about those guys?
Yeah, the lightweight title fight is between Kurt Southern and Tom Galicchio. Tom Galicchio is actually a good friend and training partner of mine. And he won their first fight. He's going to win their second fight. The kid hits like a truck. He's got better jiu-jitsu than most people. He's normally 170, so he's incredibly strong at 155. The Rotten Kid missed weight by 0.2 last time, but that's not going to happen this time. So I think it's going to be an easy fight for, and all the respect in the world to Kurt Southern. I just think Tom Galicchio is in his prime right now and won't be stopped for a long time. The next fight with Aaron I always pronounce his name wrong. Burchak. I think I got that one right. He's a good dude. He has one of the most exciting fight styles I've seen in a while, and I'm predicting big things for him. I think he's going to go out there and he's going to show how dominant he is in the sport. It's just his time.
Jim Graham and Dave Sadler talking with MFC middleweight champion Sam Alvey. You can follow him on Twitter at SmilinSam. And looking at MFC 40, it will be the 4th time you'll be fighting for the promotion. Has that experience made you pretty comfortable fighting inside a ring as opposed to a cage for MMA? Again, the MFC is very fan-oriented, and it's way easier to watch a fight in a ring than it is a cage. There's less ring posts. There's less space you can't see. So that's why they do it. And I enjoy doing it too. I've had a couple experiences before the MFC fighting in it. Now I do some kickboxing too, and so that's in a ring. So I'm pretty, I feel pretty comfortable in the ring. And, I'm happy I'm doing it again. Now, your opponent at MFC 40 in Wes Swofford, he fought for the MFC at MFC 36 and then went on to fight twice for some other promotions. Is he a guy that you thought you'd be fighting for your first title defense?
I didn't know who I was going to be fighting for my first defense, but I'm happy it's him. He's got a very exciting style. I think he's got 10 wins, all by way of first round knockout. So it's a fight people are going to want to tune in to see. And that's what I'm interested in doing. I want to do fights people want to see. And I do my best. Even if people don't want to see it, I do my best to make sure people will want to see it next time. I make sure that every fight I put on, I make people want to come back and see Smiley Sam fight again.
Now, we talked to your boss, Mark Pavlich, last week, and he was very enthusiastic about you and Wes fighting for the middleweight title. In fact, expects it to be a bloody mess on the canvas inside the ring, and I was wondering what you see happening at MFC 40.
Well, I hope it's a bloody mess. I just hope it's none of my blood. No, I think it's going to be, I think fireworks are going to happen. He's a little taller than me. He hits hard as a truck. I've been told to hit pretty hard. I think someone's going to connect once or twice, and people are going to love it. It's going to be just one of those fights you talk about tomorrow.
Now, earlier, Sam, you mentioned you have your second child coming on the way, and obviously you got married last year. Just how has life changed now being married, kids, and also trying to compete in MMA?
Honestly, the biggest difference is I'm happier more often now than I used to be, and I used to be pretty happy. My wife is wonderful. She's behind me 100% at the time. My current daughter Reagan right now, she's just the light of my life. She smiles almost as much as I do, and she's one of those babies that just has a lot of personality. So I love being around her. I love spending time with my family, and they've been helping me with this camp as much as anyone.
As fans of our show know, I am a huge fan of the Green Bay Packers, despite being from the state of Michigan, and I know that you're originally from Wisconsin, Sam, so I had to know if you are a Packers fan as well.
I am a Packers fan, just like everybody should be. If they're not a Packers fan, there's something wrong with them. Greatest team ever. Actually, the Packers, you could take the Packers team, put them in any other sport, and they would dominate that sport too. That's how good the team is.
Did you hear that, Dave? You got to tell all your friends back in Chicago they're rooting for the wrong team.
Well, good enough. I don't.
Everyone in Chicago knows they're rooting for the wrong team.
I don't disagree with that because I'm not a huge football guy. I'll watch it if it's on TV. I think it's great when, the Bears and the Packers are going to play Monday night. It's going to be a great game at Soldier Field, and then it's 45-3. The Packers win, because then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday around here, everybody walks with their head down. So to me, it's hilarious. I just don't get into football that much. But hey, Sam, if you're ever in the area, you can come swing by the house. I live about 5 minutes from the Bears training camp. You can come by and check out the Bears camp. We'll wear Packers jerseys together.
That's what, Lake Forest, right?
No, they moved. It's down in Kankakee.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I could probably take 3 golf driving. I could hit a driver 3 times and ball would land in their practice facility. So it's super close. Cool. It's super close, but when I go, I don't know what I'm looking at too much. So I'm looking around for any MMA fighters that may have shown up.
Well, if I get out there, I might take you up on that.
Cool.
Well, it's glad to hear that you are indeed a Packers fan, so I'll keep that in mind. So I was already a fan of you before, Sam, but now this, you go up a couple notches on the old belt there with that.
Oh, good. Just remember that when you're punching the vote.
Yes, sir.
Once again, he is the MFC middleweight champion, Sam Alvey. He will be taking on Wes Swofford for the middleweight title on May 9th. It will be shown on Access TV. And once again, as you said, you can punch the vote and use the hashtag middleweight, hashtag the MFC to get his fight into the main event. You can follow him on Twitter at Smilin' Sam. And Sam, thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate it and wish you the best of luck in your title fight come May.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure coming on, and hopefully we can talk again.
Once again, that was MFC middleweight champion Sam Alvey right here on Beyond the Cage, presented by Fight Chicks.